Yeah.
So anyway, the upshot of all that is I calmed myself down. I thought, okay, there's no point getting upset. It's not going to achieve anything. What should I do about this? Because, I'm really not someone who chooses to mope or feel sorry for myself. I'm not in a victim mentality. If this has happened, if I've made such a big mistake, on some level my higher self is wanting me to learn something here or go through some experience here, I don't make massive mistakes like this very often in my life. I'm a pretty well-read, learned person. I do a lot of research. I know a lot about food. So for this to have fallen through a crack says to me there's something here that I'm supposed to experience. It's like, okay, what is it? So I thought it through. I talked it through with Alan, my partner, and he said something to me. I said to him, oh my God, I said to him, well, do we think I can slowly get this 5-6 pounds back off just through normal low-carb eating and exercise? Got him to muscle test that and DAOs that, and I also felt into it for myself. Should I go and do another round when I get back from Melbourne in a couple of weeks and just load again and do another round? And then an idea just suddenly popped into my head that was so out of left field. I said to him, hang on a sec, I'm still within the 2-week window. I wonder if I could just go back into P2 and reset everything. Go back down to where I was at and do a proper P3 without the milk. But at the time I said it, I thought, no, I'm not doing that. There's no way I'm doing that. Firstly, I'm just not in that mindset. I'm in the middle of P3 mindset. I don't want to go back to P2. And do I even have enough vials left? And I'm about to get on a plane to go home for 10 days. I've got breakfast booked, lunch booked, dinner booked every single day. I have booked 3 catch-ups every single day for 10 days, and most of them are going to be at cafes. So I was like, and I've got friends cooking me dinner, or my family taking me out to dinner for the birthday of both of my parents. I've got so many things booked. And I had been doing a lot of thinking about how I was going to do that on P3. I had planned my meals. I had packed some food to take. I told all my friends I'm eating a very low-carb diet. Make sure you cook me low-carb food. So I was really prepared for that. So when I had this idea of going back into P2, I dismissed it. But then we talked about it at length and muscle tested it and dowsed it, and we realised it's the only option. It's the only real option, because the bottom line is this is my last round of HCG. I need to stabilize here. I'm not going to have that slowly creep back on because I didn't do a proper stabilization. And the number one rule in Dr. Simeon's book is don't eat carbs in P3. Don't eat sugar or starches. It obviously interferes with the metabolic processes that are happening in your body, stabilizing and sorting out your metabolism. I mean, we know, those of you who read my book, Mindset Magic, you know this is not a diet. This is a hormone reset program. So if I've broken the main rule in resetting my hormones, I have to fix that, because I am absolutely clear that I'm not putting this weight back on. And what's also interesting is I realize something in myself has shifted from doing this last round. When I did round 2 and I got down, to 65 kilograms, 64, 63, which were weights I'd never been before in my life. It felt very new and very foreign. And I was making all these vlogs going, who is this person? Who is this slim person? I don't recognize her. Who is she? And it took a lot of emotional and mindset work to get really comfortable with the new slim person that I am now. On this third round, when I really got very low and I got under 130 pounds and really was under 60 kilograms, it was super, super slim other than a little bit of fat on my belly. And I even started to show my belly in public and own it. And I didn't feel foreign. I didn't feel like, who is this person? I was like, this is me. And what happened when I saw the weight coming back on in the last 10 days from eating the milk, I didn't like that. I didn't think it looked like me. Whereas before, when the weight came back on, I was like sort of relieved almost because it was familiar. Like after my second round when I hurt my back and put some weight back on, it was sort of comforting to see that person again in the mirror. But this time, in the last 10 days, it hasn't been. I've realized something inside myself has shifted. I don't see myself as overweight anymore. Oh my God, how did that happen? But it's happened. I'm telling you now, I looked in the mirror this morning and went, that's not me. Me is 59 kilograms. That's who I am. I'm a slim person now. And I was really enjoying it. I was fitting into all my little jeans and showing my tummy and walking around in babies. Now, I don't look that much bigger, 5 or 6 pounds heavier, but it is noticeable, and it's mainly around my stomach. And when I measured myself, my arms and legs are the same size they were before I put all this milk weight on, but my stomach and waist has gone up by 2 inches. So it's like, oh my God, it went straight there. And it's very noticeable, and I don't like it. And I sort of feel like Gandalf, in Lord of the Rings, where he goes, "You shall not pass!" I'm just like, this is not going to happen. I'm not going back into the 60s. I am not. And I just looked at myself in the mirror and said, I'm not going back into the 60s. I've got to fix this right now. And if it means going back into P2, so be it. I will see that P3 episode with the milk as a planned interruption. I stocked my body up for 10 days on fats and sugars and proteins. I've had lots of nutrition from all this raw milk and kefir and amazing food I've been eating. I'm full of energy now. And I'm going back into the second half of P2. It wasn't my plan. I could be mortified and embarrassed that I'm having to admit all this on YouTube, but I'm not, because I'm learning from it. And you know what? It may well be a silver lining, because I'm now going to go home for 10 days and I have a million breakfast, lunches and dinners, and my decisions about food are going to be very simple. I'll just say to people, sorry, I've already eaten. Sorry, I've already eaten. I'm on a special diet. I had to eat at home. And I just will not eat out, because I'll eat my normal P2 foods. I'll cook my fish. I'll make my egg whites. I'll make my protein shake. I'll take my cucumbers, Just what I was doing in this round on P2. And it's going to make my life very simple. Whereas if I was on P3 and I was eating out at all these restaurants, it would be very hard making decisions about which carbs, what to eat, do I take carb blockers, is this got sugar in it? It would have been a minefield. So now I have a very simple 10 days. It's not going to be as fun because I can't eat out with my friends, but it will be easier. And I realised the other positive coming out of this is I may well actually end up lower, because I'm starting this second half of my round today I woke up after having, by the way, yesterday, obviously, as soon as I realised this, I stopped eating any milk. And I did an egg day, really high protein, high fat, no carbs, 0 carbs. And I did drop a pound. So, my body does respond when I don't eat carbs. It's just that I was accidentally eating carbs. So today, when I woke up, I was back to 60.8, which is 134 pounds exactly. So, I'm still 4 and a bit pounds above where I was, but I'm not worried about the weight. That's not why I'm going back on P2. I'm not going back on because I'm my weight. I'm going back on P2 because I feel that I've messed up the hormonal aspect of the stabilizing by eating 10 days of carbs. I want this stabilizing to lock in. I don't care exactly where it locks in. It could lock in at 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, whatever, but I want it to lock in. Even if it locks in where I am right now, fine. I just don't want to look back and think, I messed up with stabilizing by eating carbs every day for the first 10 days of it. I can't risk it. I'm not going to risk it. I'm just going to do a short round, 21 days. The first 10 days I'll be on holiday. I won't even notice those 10 days. I'll be having so much fun with my friends. I'll come back here. I'll do a second 10 days. That'll be 21 days. Finished. I looked in my cupboard. I had exactly 2 vials of HCG left, which will get me through exactly 21 days. No problem. And then I'll go into a real P3. I won't have, obviously, any milk. I'll eat everything else, which was perfect. And I'll lock it in. And the upside of it is, because I'm starting at 60.8, I might end up a little bit lower than where I ended up in the first half of this round, before I do my milk P3. I might actually end up with a little bit more of a buffer in the 50s, which I would like, because I really want to stabilize in the 50s in kilograms. And I was so close to 60, being only 58.9. If I gained a couple of pounds, I would have been in the 60s. So I'd like to get to a kilogram lower in the second half of the round, if my body wants to. And if not, no problem. But at least when I go into P3, it will be proper. So those of you on P2, I'm about to join you back on P2. It's going to be very interesting. And I wonder how my body will go, having had a 10-day rest with lots and lots of fat. I'm feeling very replenished. I'm feeling very high energy. I'm feeling happy. And despite the craziness of the story, and the ridiculousness of this setback, and the magnitude of my stuff up, I'm actually feeling very positive about it. So, I really am at a point in my life where I believe everything happens for a reason. It's all for my higher learning, and something good's going to come out of this. It always does. So just want to share that with you, share that perspective with you, so that you know that all of us have setbacks. Even those of us who are writing books on mindset and emotional stuff, we all have setbacks. Even the experts, everyone has setbacks. But the question is, how do you deal with those setbacks? Do you let them derail you? Do you go into victim mode, oh, this happened to me, it's terrible? Or do you take responsibility that you created it? You created it for a reason. It's maybe a reason that your mind doesn't know, but it's a reason that your higher self knows, and it's going to lead to something useful. It always does. And then you take ownership of it, and you're no longer a victim, and you're an empowered person back in control of your life, and you can come back to your life with enthusiasm. And right now, I'm coming to this accidental second P2 that I never thought I was going to do. After my accidental planned interruption, which I thought was P3, I'm coming back to it with enthusiasm. I'm coming back to it with passion, because I may as well do it 100% with joy, otherwise what's the point? So anyway, that's my crazy news for the day. I'm now back on P2, so expect some vlogs from me. I am going to be out of action for the next 10 days. I will take my computer with me. I don't know if I'll have internet connection. I'm going to be on holiday, staying at people's houses. I'll try and make a couple little vlogs even on my iPhone, or try and get to the internet, upload them. If I don't, you'll hear from me in 10 days when I get back. The most interesting bit is I'm not going to have a scale. So, because I'm traveling, I don't have travel scales. So for the first time ever, I'm going to be doing phase 2 without scales, which I think is going to be incredibly liberating, because scales don't help you in P2, because it's not like P3 where you check your weight and then you change what you eat and you affect your weight the next day. You can't affect your weight in P2. If you're eating pop, if you're following the protocol, you're going to lose what you're going to lose. Whatever your body's prepared to release is what you're going to release. And I'm going to be eating strictly to protocol, so I'm going to lose what I'm going to lose. Standing on the scale is not going to change it. It just means I'm going to know what's happening, but I can't control it in any way. So I'm going to do what some people choose to do, which is do a P2 without the scales. So 10 days from now, I'll come home, I'll get on the scales, and I'll see what's happened. But even if I don't lose any weight, I don't care, because I'm doing it because I want to have the chance to do a proper P3. That's why I'm doing it. So if I come back in 10 days, I'm the same weight, doesn't matter. End of 21 days, whatever has been the result is the result. The point is it will have reset my hormones back into HCG P2 mode, and then I'll be able to come out and do a really safe, really stable P3 with 0 carbs, and lock whatever weight I'm in, lock it in, and keep it there for life. And that's my choice. That's my intention. That's what I'm creating right now. So guys, that's my big news. I'll keep you posted. Bye.